Hey everybody, I am back and wanted to do a quickie power networking. There was a topic, oh god, the picture is awful. But hey, thank you. Welcome to my scope, people. I'm back at the lake taking my power walk and with Jose Cuervo with his crazy self. But there was a blog post that I saw today on Medium by Catherine Finney. I don't know if you guys know her from Black Girls Code. And I am so happy that she wrote her blog post because I have, my dad used to say, closed mouths don't get fed. That was back in a time when I was like kind of shy. I know it's hard to believe it now that I was a shy person. But yeah, when I was younger, I was shy. And come on, Jose. And he used to say all the time, okay, you keep it up, a closed mouth don't get fed. So when I saw the title of her blog post, closed mouth don't get fed, I automatically thought of my dad. And the basis of her article was that for Black women in particular, that we don't ask. We don't have our ask ready. We don't ask when we need things. And I wanted to do a quick scope tonight before the sun goes down to talk about the ask, because I tell people all the time, you guys know my first book was Go Ahead, Talk to Strangers, The Modern Girl's Guide to Fearless Networking. And then I said, hello, I can't even see. This is IODoc 2B. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't see. My glasses are, my eyes are jacked up, not the glasses. But, Go Ahead, Talk to Strangers, The Modern Girl's Guide to Fearless Networking, where I talked all about overcoming that shyness and the fearness and trepidation of networking. And then I followed that up with a book/course. Hi, KBC Career. Thanks for coming back. I followed that up with a book called Fearless Networking Without Asking Permission. Now, I hadn't always been extroverted and a networking star or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you call it. But that wasn't who I was growing up. And when I had my first business, I used to tell the story about how I kind of got thrown into networking, and I went to this networking event, and this lady was at this table with me and a couple of other women, and it was a recruiting event and recruiters networking event or whatever it was. And the guys were kind of clustered together, and the lady at the table, her name was Linda something. I can't remember her last name, but Linda was basically saying, we have to, ask Tanya Smart, thanks for joining, and IODoc 2B, you're back, and Anthony McKinnon, hi, thank you all for coming. Basically, we were at a table, and she says, you know what, girls, if we're ever going to get anywhere, we're going to have to, woman up. She didn't say woman up, but I'm saying it now, woman up, and really find our voices to network. You have to ask for what you want. So this woman got up, walked over, and sat down with a group of men. And, hey, my name is Linda. Here's my card. I do such and such and such and such. What do you do? And the guys looked at her like, who are you? Kind of like, who is this crazy lady coming over here talking to us? Doesn't she see there's a bunch of men over here? So from that moment, I kind of learned, that was my first introduction to real power networking and learning how to exert myself and put myself in situations. So what I want to share with you tonight, you don't have to go buy my book. I don't mind about it. Thanks, Miss Fee. I'm sharing my website, empowerme.org. But what I want to share with you tonight are some tips, some things that I learned. Now, number one, nobody is untouchable. And I used to say, nobody is untouchable except maybe Oprah Winfrey. He's always say that. But, even Oprah Winfrey is not untouchable. Everybody can be reached at some point in time. Everybody asks me all the time, how do you network with, WNBA team owners and billionaires, and how do you get this person on your show, and how do you network with this executive and this and that? And you know what I tell people? I would like to say there's some secret sauce to that, but my mindset is nobody is untouchable. So write that down as number one. Nobody is untouchable. You can reach anybody you need to, and especially today. It was a lot harder back when I first started in the 90s, where we didn't have social media and all that good stuff. But it's a lot more feasible today for you to connect with people. All you have to do is go to LinkedIn or Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Abundant Pro Training. Hi, thanks for, and welcome to my My Scout, welcome. Today is a lot easier for you to go ahead and connect with people. So nobody's untouchable. That's rule number one. Rule number two, I got to walk because Jose is coming. There's some people coming and he's going to go berserk. You guys know how he gets. Rule number two is make sure that you always put yourself in a position of win-win. And by that, I mean, there have been many times when I said I want to interview certain people for my show. Well, what's in it for them? What's in it for me? What's in it for them is that they get to have access to my audience. They get to promote whatever it is they have coming up. And I will, and you guys know how I do it. I promote out the wazoo as much as I can, as much as I need to or whatever. And I make people accessible to my audience. What's in it for me is that I get to have somebody with instant credibility, somebody who is accomplished, someone who is successful, and someone who, gives me credibility as an interviewer. I don't want to say reporter or journalist because that's not what I am. But, that's how that works. And most times, like in the case of Jenny Gilder, my mentor and friend who owns the WNBA, and a couple of other people, we become friends afterwards because I extend the conversation after that initial communication. So that's number three. Continue the conversation. Keep it going. Oh, thank you, Christina. Keep the conversation going after the initial connection. That's number three. So point number four, what I say to people is always make sure you're cultivating those relationships by introducing them to other people. That is how you power network. I always look for a way and people who know me personally, who have been around me and communicate with me know that when I start talking about certain things, or if I meet people and they come to me and say, oh, I'm trying to do this, or I'm trying to do that, or I'm trying to get access to this, I automatically, the wheels start turning in my head and I start thinking about who do I know, who knows what they're talking about and would be a good connection for them. And I'm never selfish with my connections. I always make sure that I make introductions. If that's the least that I can do is make an introduction, I'll make an introduction. So, and that's number four, number five, whatever it is. But whatever I'm up to now, always be connecting. Always be connecting. And I believe in that because when you connect people, even when you don't need anything, it comes back to you. And it leads me back to Catherine Finney's initial comments about the ask. Black women especially, we don't ask. We put on this brave face, this bravada, and the mosquitoes are out. This bravada that, oh, we don't need help. We can do it. Or everybody has an ulterior motive. Or this person wouldn't possibly want to help me. But like my daddy said, a closed mouth don't get fed. You have to learn to ask and condition yourself. Now, I know women in general, I know that we are conditioned